This is the Samsung Galaxy Z Fold 4, and in my opinion, it's been incredible to see how Samsung has created the foldable smartphone space and dominated it with the Galaxy Z series. Now, just 3 years ago, Samsung had to delay the original release of the Galaxy Fold due to shoddy durability and build quality. Now we're on the 4th iteration, and Samsung is so far ahead of everyone else when it comes to foldables that they're able to take a year to focus on refinement and software, making the Galaxy Fold and Flip experiences even better. Now, I've got a separate video on the Z Flip 4, by the way, which I'll link below, along with links on how to pick up both of the new devices if you're interested. Now, right up front, I'll say that there aren't any very obvious visual changes to the hardware of the Z Fold 4 when compared to last year's Z Fold 3, but let's go over everything, starting with the physical hardware. Technically, the Z Fold 4 is a little lighter and better proportioned than the previous model. Now, one of the biggest complaints with users was that the Fold was too tall and narrow, making for an odd cover display shape and weird feeling for one-handed use. Now, Samsung has addressed this one by making the device a little bit shorter and a little bit wider. In the hand, just that small, almost imperceptible design change makes the devices feel a lot more comfortable to use. Another update that might make the Fold 4 more pleasant to use with one hand is its weight. It's just 8 grams lighter than its predecessor, and for me, it's not enough to really notice when comparing with the Fold 3, but I bet even that small change will result in more comfort long term. Samsung said the new Fold 4 has a slimmer hinge and slimmer bezels, but honestly, even when I put the Fold 3 next to the new model, these differences aren't very obvious at all. Not that they aren't there, just that they're very subtle refinements. I'll talk more about this in the full review, so be sure you're subscribed for that one. Okay, next, let's talk about the displays. The Galaxy Z Fold 4's 7.6-inch internal display now has a 21.6 by 18 aspect ratio compared to the Fold 3's 22.5 by 18, while the external screen has a 23.1 by 9 aspect ratio instead of last year's 24.5 by 9. Again, these differences are pretty minimal, but I felt like it was much easier to reach areas of the cover display that were previously out of reach. Now, more importantly though, especially for a foldable, that internal display is now 45% stronger than last year, and that's a big deal. It's no secret that foldable displays feel sort of unnatural and delicate to the point where a lot of people baby these devices more than the typical smartphone. Knowing that the ultra thin glass is now almost 50% stronger than the Fold 3 provides huge peace of mind, at least in my opinion. And it should be said, Samsung's internal display looks great, and while you get 120 Hz AMOLED panels inside and out, if I could change one thing, it would be a higher resolution for the 6.2-inch cover display, which currently ships as 2316 by 904. Oh, and in case you were wondering, the S Pen is still supported on the inner display here, but there's still no built-in way to store it. So Samsung makes these cases with built-in S Pen holders instead. Not my favorite look personally, and I look forward to the day when the S Pen can fit into the body design of the Fold. Okay, the next big change for the Z Fold 4 is the cameras when compared to last year's Fold 3. For the most part, you're getting an upgraded camera experience in all but a couple of areas. Last year, the Fold 3 offered a triple 12 megapixel camera on the back for the wide, ultra wide, and telephoto lenses. The Fold 4 upgrades that main sensor to 50 megapixels, but keeps the ultra wide at 12 megapixels and drops the telephoto down to 10 megapixels, but gives it 3x zoom, which is up from the 2x we had last year. The pixels are also larger, which means 23% more light can be captured, which should make for some nice camera improvements. And again, make sure you're subscribed for the full review. Both the front camera and internal under display camera maintain their 10 and 4 megapixel respective specs from last year, although Samsung says that the internal under display camera is less visible than last year due to a new scatter type sub-pixel arrangement. Honestly, it pretty much looks the same to me, and I generally skip using that camera in favor of any of the other cameras on the device. Samsung is now using Android 12 L. This is a version of Android that is designed for foldables and larger displays, and I think this is more important than a lot of the hardware differences, as software defines how you use a device. The most obvious change here is the new relocated taskbar, which Samsung has moved to the bottom of the display instead of the sides. This kind of feels like the dock from macOS or the Windows taskbar, and it's a really nice change, almost reminding you subtly that this device is a multitasking beast. Not only can you find your recent and most frequently used apps on this row, but you'll also see shortcuts to find all apps, return home, or go back at the bottom right. You can drag and drop icons from this bar to launch apps in split screen or full screen views, and you're able to run up to 3 apps side by side. The company also updated Flex Mode, which cuts the screen in half when the phone is slightly folded and turns the bottom part into a control panel of sorts for whatever you're doing on the top half of the display. This year, Samsung added a touchpad tool so you can control a cursor on the top half by swiping and tapping on the bottom. Now, I think it's just easier to just tap on what you want versus trying to treat a portion of the display as a trackpad, but that might just be me. Now, when it comes to battery, you're getting 4,400 milliamp hours with super fast charging, which will go from 0 to 50% in 30 minutes with the appropriate charging adapter, which is not included in the box, by the way. And you also get fast wireless charging as well. Then there's pricing, and this is a big one because we're comparing the Z Fold 4 to the Z Fold 3. The new Samsung Galaxy Z Fold 4 starts at $1799. It's a lot of money, but I think most understand that the technology that goes into making a device like this isn't cheap. However, you can pick up last year's Galaxy Z Fold 3, which is still a fantastic device, for $800 right now at Best Buy, linked down in the description. That's a savings of $1,000 between these two devices, which is enough money to go buy a MacBook Air with. If I'm being honest, it's hard to recommend the Z Fold 4 when the Z Fold 3 is almost just as capable of a device for $1,000 less. What do you think? Let me know in the comments below. That said, if you're interested, you can pick up the Samsung Galaxy Z Fold 4 in 3 colors. There's Phantom Black, there's this gray green, and there's also beige for that $1799 starting price. And it's available in 128, 256, and 512 gigabyte storage configurations, and it ships on August 26th, so just about 2 weeks away. Let me know your thoughts on the Z Fold 4. Have you owned a Fold yet? Are you into foldables at all? Or are you gonna pick this up as your first Fold device? Drop it in the comments below and I'll meet you there for further discussion. Thanks for watching as always, guys. I appreciate your support. I'm Andru Webbers, and I will catch you in the next video.